as Dr. Lou, your partner in Whole Life Wellness. I am a doctor of education, a former teacher, a former administrator, an instructional designer. But more important than all of that, I'm a parent of 3 very different learners, and they all needed very different things in order to be successful at school. Now, what makes all those things more important is the fact that I'm a parent who understands what it is to be concerned about your child. So when I went into education, I made sure to make education not only available, but better for every child that I worked with. Our schools are no different than any other organization on the face of the planet. Having said that, let's talk about the different schools that exist, because you need to know what you're dealing with. You need to know what those schools have promised you if you're going to partake of that promise and get the very best out of it. Your job is to be informed so that you can make sure that your child has the best that he or she can access, so that they can build the life they desire and deserve, and they can start it with their school experience. So let's talk about the 4 types of schools, shall we? All right, so first there's the traditional public school. That one is free of charge, sort of, right? It's funded by tax dollars. And the way that it's free of charge is because all the homeowners and then other groups in the community pay taxes, and those tax dollars go to pay for the school. So that is something that is important to be aware of as you begin to evaluate what school I'm supposed to send my child to. So there's the public schools, right? And then you have private schools. We all know about private schools, right? Private schools are funded by either organizations or by tuition or by grants from individuals. They are paid for out of pocket. Private schools usually don't require or receive any tax dollars. They are not free of charge. They are paid for. Paying more does not equate higher quality. It can be an indicator that there's a chance that there's some higher quality, but it doesn't guarantee it. Then there's a charter school. Now, charter school is what happens when private schools and public schools have a baby, right? Because with a charter school, they may be fully or partially funded by tax dollars, but they are not constrained to the requirements and the regulations of a public school. They are organized by a community or a group within a community, and there's a charter in place, and that's what guides and regulates them. So a charter school may be free, or it may have a nominal fee, and usually parents have to apply to get in, or be on a waiting list of some sort if it's a good one, if it's one with a good reputation, rather. So with charter schools, the thing to remember is that they are accountable for academic results as promised in their charter. I repeat, charter schools are accountable based on the academic results of the students and based on those promises that they have established in their charter. So that's charter schools. So we've talked about public schools, private schools, and charter schools. And the last option is homeschooling. Structurally, homeschooling is still a lot like what it was back in the day for the wealthy and affluent or the poor. It's where you teach your child outside of a school building or system, and you are responsible as a parent or family for providing the resources, for selecting the curriculum, for doing everything that is needed for your child to get an education. Now, by law, as a parent, if you have a child age 5 to 18, I believe, 17 or 18, you are responsible for making sure that they are enrolled in some sort of school. So if it is homeschooling, you have to provide some level of proof that you are making sure that they are learning what they need to learn. But you, as a family or parent, have all the freedom and leeway to choose whatever you would like, to pay whatever you would like. Now, all of these things are not created equal even within the groups. There are very distinct differences. And while financial ability does play a great role in it, it is not always an indicator of the higher quality. So I will go into later exactly more detail about it, because there's a lot to know about each type of school. But that's the basics. Now, since we know that all schools are not the same, let's think about what makes schools different. First of all, it's going to be the personnel there. What is the attitude and experience level and enthusiasm of the personnel that are teaching, whether it's teachers, whether it's the receptionist at the front desk, whether it's the administrator, that will affect your child's experience at that school greatly. Secondly, it's the supplies, it's the provision. What is the quality of that? Next, you have leadership, community involvement, community influence, and there are so many other factors and variables that affect your child's experience in any school. I keep saying all schools are not created equal and all schools are not the same, and I want you to remember that as you make your decision. But the key word in what I just said is that you have a right to make a decision. You have choices. Not only do you have choices, but making the right choice changes everything for your child. School is an investment and you are paying for it whether you realize it or not. Even if it's a free public school, you pay for it with your tax dollars, whether it's property tax or taxes for things, different purchases or lottery investments. Public schools are still paid for, and because they are still paid for, you have a right to expect the highest quality of service and product for your investment. And when you view it like that, you tend to look at it differently, look at things differently as you make decisions about what school to send your child to. Also, let me give you another very important tip that's going to make it easier for you to have these expectations and hold your school accountable. Did you know that your child is a source of income for the school that they attend? See, schools receive grants based on enrollment. They receive money from the federal government and the state government based on the number of students enrolled. Then they receive additional monies on top of that based on the needs of the students. So if your child has special or unique needs, the school gets a second allotment of monies for that. And there are other means by which the school obtains money. But the point that I'm making is this: because your child is a source of income, you ought to feel that much more emboldened, that much more empowered, that much more the right to expect that the school serves your child appropriately. Stop looking at schools as if they're doing your child a favor by allowing him or her to come. And especially if your child has special needs, understand that with that, the school is receiving additional monies to provide services and accommodations for your child. Make sure that your child is getting those. Make sure that your child is receiving all that he or she needs to be able to stand up and become the person of excellence and greatness that they are designed to be. You have the right. Just because you are zoned for a school doesn't mean your child has to attend there. It also doesn't mean that you have to accept the basics when it comes to their services, when it comes to how they educate your child. You have the right to ask for the most. You have the right to ask for the best. You have the right to ask them to keep their promise to give your child the very best in education. And every school at its very basics will have done that. So having said that, if you drove a car off the lot and it broke down on you immediately, would you keep it and say, well, that's the best we got? No. You would return it and you would go down there and expect a return on your investment of either your money back or a better car or your car in better shape. And the same is true for schools. Do not be afraid to evaluate their success. Do not be afraid to evaluate their performance. Do not be afraid to grade them yourself and determine if you feel that you ought to be getting more for your money. You have the right. Your child deserves this, and everything depends on it. Isn't your child worth more to you than all of those purchases combined? So now that you know all of this, how do you know you've made the right decision for your child? Well, first and foremost, did you get all the facts? Do you know the outcome that you seek for your child in detail? It should be more than just passing grades. It should be preparation for some sort of life experience. Once you know that, have you interviewed or evaluated the school that your child is either going to or that you're thinking of sending them to? If the answer is no, then that's your next step. You have to evaluate. Don't be afraid to call all the principals in your area. Schedule an appointment for the ones at your child's grade level. Go in and see them and just share up front with them. Be transparent. I am looking into schools for my child and I'm trying to determine if this would be the best place for him or her. So what can you tell me about how you would approach making sure that he or she receives everything she needs at your school? If they can't sell you or won't sell you or don't have time to be bothered, that's a red flag. You need to dig a little deeper. You need to look a little more. But don't be afraid to do that, because you would do that if you were buying a house. You would hire a realtor. You would get it appraised. You would make sure that your investment was going into good ground. You would make sure that it was going to bring you back good return. Do not be afraid to do that for your child. This is your chance to give them everything that you said you wanted to give them when you found out they were coming. Next, you've got to know what to look for. Last but not least, do your research. Make sure that you know about the schools in your area. Make sure that you understand the school options that you're evaluating and considering. Make sure that you know their responsibilities, their promises, and their expectations. And last but not least, make sure you know your rights and responsibilities. That's going to set you up for success in this decision. More importantly than all those things, if you need help, get it. Some of us are so afraid of admitting that we need help as parents, but you know what? We do. We don't think twice about getting help when it comes to purchasing our house or purchasing our car, right? We don't think twice about those things. Don't be afraid to get help when it comes to your child. This is your chance to give them the best start in life. So if you have to hire an expert, hire an expert. Stop dropping your child off at school and hoping for the best. and give them the best. Now, if you're already learning this the hard way because you rushed into a decision or just accepted what was given to you and now you're having difficulty, know that it is never too soon or too late to make a change. That's what I am here for and others like me. My team is here to help you and your child achieve success, not just in education, but as a great start in life. So let's start with this. I have a great questionnaire that you can use as a tool to evaluate schools in your area. It gives you the right questions to ask, the right things to look for all 4 types of school. You can click the link below to get started on receiving that immediately and use it right now. Also know this, it's never too late to start doing what's best for your child in education. So start now. I've dedicated my life to helping my children and then helping others, and I have seen thousands of students' lives transform for the better with the right experience in education. Every single student whose lives I touched when I was teaching, when I was administrator, when I was an instructional designer, I fought to give them the very best, to make sure that they had the very best. It's what I would have wanted for my child, and it's what I want for you and yours. I have been an educator. I have been an administrator. I have been an instructional designer, and I know what works in schools from the ground up. Let me help your family. You can do this. For just $9.95, you get a PDF questionnaire that you can take to the school right now or tomorrow or whenever you want and use it to evaluate your school and to determine your next steps. In addition to that, you get help from me. You get other tools and guidance because by signing up for this PDF, you will also be eligible to receive notifications whenever we provide more materials to help you do what's best for your child now and going forward. You get a partner from a doctor of education who cares about you and your family. I am here for you. So subscribe to my YouTube channel right now by clicking the subscribe button below this video. I'll be releasing a series of videos starting next week that detail the types of schools and what to look for in each one of them, one by one. It'll also help you to begin to match up your child based on their personalities, their likes and dislikes, and different traits and characteristics about them, so you can get not only the best school experience, but so you can start thinking about guiding them in the right direction for the best career for them and the best life experience for them. I am here to help you. I'm here to help your family. These videos will be free of charge. All you have to do is subscribe and then you'll get notifications when they are released. Furthermore, if you need help from me in any other way, let's say you have questions, you need support, you need an advocate, you need guidance, or you just want to keep up and see where I am and what I'm doing and what things I'm sharing for families like you for free, feel free to reach out to me on social media. On Instagram, Facebook, and Periscope, I am Dr. Tarika Lewis. On Twitter, you'll find me at I Am Potential 7. That's I Am Potential and the number 7. I'm here for you, and I'm here to help you fight for the success of you, your child, and your family. So whether you need answers to questions, templates, or help finding the words to say, I'm here to help you. And if you need me to contact the school for you, I can do that too as your education consultant. I do it for my clients all the time. You don't have to fight alone anymore. Get the tools and support you need to give your child the gift of success. I am Dr. Tarika Lewis, and I'm here to help you get the best for your family. Until we meet again, know that I love you, I believe in you, and for now, I am signing out.